Hello, my name is Andrew Peng. Welcome to another edition of CMS Forex News. Today is Thursday, August 7th, 2008. The Australian economy created 10,900 new jobs in July, above the forecast of a 5,000 gain. However, the figures for last month were revised down. The unemployment rate was the same as June's upwardly revised 4.3%, as the labor force grew as well. In New Zealand, employment grew 1.2% in the second quarter. However, the labor force also expanded, and at a faster pace. As a result, the unemployment rate increased despite the higher-than-expected job growth. In Japan, orders for machinery, excluding volatile items, were down 2.6% for June. The figure was better than forecast, indicating that firms haven't scaled back investment as much as economists have feared. Stocks in Tokyo, nevertheless, were mainly down on the day. Yesterday, the Aussie yen pair extended heavy declines, which ended last week. The sharp sell-off bucked at the 98.70 handle and has formed a rising channel. In Germany, exports picked up in June, helping to push the trade surplus to 18.1 billion euros. Demand from Russia and China offset weaker sales in other markets like the US. German industrial production rose 0.2%, ending a 3-month streak of falling output. However, the number was lower than forecast, and the ministry warned that the outlook remains weak. Housing prices in the UK, as measured by the Halifax Bank of Scotland, decreased 1.7% in July and 8.8% on the year. That's the worst annual drop in nearly a quarter century. Since April, prices have plummeted as banks are starving the market for lending and the overall economy weakened. The housing market recession was one of the reasons the Bank of England held rates steady at 5%. The committee also considered data that showed manufacturing, services, and construction declining as well in July. However, the policy members voted to stay on the sidelines. Inflation, running at almost 4% now, is pressuring the banks to even consider a rate hike. The ECB also held rates at a 7-year high of 4.25%. The Eurozone also faces higher inflation, along with mounting signs that the economy is slowing considerably. Trichet, in his press conference following the decision, said that the Council expected such a retraction in growth in the second quarter after a robust first quarter. He reiterated that the inflation remains the main concern. The Euro-Pound pair had been climbing prior to the two decisions. Following the statements, the pair fell 45 pips in the pound's favor by 3 p.m. New York time. The market may see that the ECB may be limited in its option to raise rates as the economy cools. The Euro-Yen pair, which rallied 230 pips in yesterday's session, hit resistance at 169.50 following the ECB decision and Trichet's conference. The pair slid more than 160 pips from that intraday high to test 167.60. U.S. stocks turned red, which hurt investor confidence during the New York session. U.S. weekly jobless claims climbed to 455,000, the highest since 2002, and 7,000 higher than last week's figure. The decline surprised economists who expected job cuts to ease this week. The number of people continuing to collect benefits rose to 3.31 million. Later in the New York morning session, data on pending home sales showed an increase of 5.3% in June. That reversed last month's losses and seemed to show a positive effect from a new government housing package that went into effect. Compared to a year ago, sales are still down 12.3%. Despite the poor claims data from the U.S., the dollar gained on the euro. Following an intraday high of 1.55, the euro-dollar pair swung about 140 pips to an intraday low near 1.5310. The dollar is enjoying a sustained rally, supported by falling oil and commodity prices. The pound-dollar pair fell to a new 9-week low, testing 1.9425. It was down 80 pips from its intraday high following the U.S. jobs data. The dollar wiped out its overnight losses and is now up 360 pips in the last 5 sessions. Overnight, Japan releases its Eco-Watcher survey, while Switzerland posts its unemployment rate. The week ends with Canada posting its employment report and the U.S. revealing data on labor costs, productivity, and wholesale inventories. That wraps it up for the day in Forex News. Join us again right here at cmsfx.com.